protect the channel, protect the broadcast. Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, a late-night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. You're watching the most talked about worldwide spiritual UFO talk show on social media. Hello, everybody. BJ, April, GM585, Jan. How you doing, Jan? April, thank you for the heart me. We always have to set our goals here, and we have to set the hat. Well, you can give me a heart too, but we're going to do the hat with the mustache. That seems to be a reasonable thing. And welcome to another edition of Encounters. Ruby Rubio, tahar to you, Rubio. Rubio, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that too. BJ, awesome. Welcome to the show. Hello there, sassy little mama. Good to see you. And people that are tuning in for the first time, this is actually a real talk show, not like other TikTok things in general where people are running around with a clown's outfit or a fake, costume of I know there was one guy used to, when I first got on here, he'd be dancing with a cow's outfit on. I've seen everything, so let me tell you. But this is an actual talk show. And so I'm also a talk show host on NPR Pacifica Radio for 21 years, WESU-FM. I love the radio station. I've been there for 21 years. Capri, good to see you. Thank you for the roses. And since I've been on here, my goal has been to bring a professional, spiritual UFO talk show, not just a UFO talk show, but a spiritual UFO talk show. And I've interviewed loads of people since 2023, and since 2024, a lot more people. And what disclosure is, it's about people's experiences. I've had people that have been abducted over the years by ETs. I've had people that have had positive, beautiful experiences with star people. I've had people that have had encounters with the Bigfoots in a very positive way and have communicated with them. We've talked about everything from things like crop circles to Agartha, the inner earth, civilizations on planet Earth. We've talked about a lot of things. Misty, welcome to the show. So this is a show giving you an idea. I'm a contactee. Marinette, good to have you. One of our moderators, Marinette. Good to have you with us. And this show is dedicated to busting the matrix. Be good to self. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. Be good to self. And also I'm a contactee. So I'm a little different. Hey, Giselle. I'm a little bit different than those traditional talk show UFO people that wear suits and have the beautiful studios and the big fancy mics and everything. I don't have all that stuff. But I don't need all the fancy stuff, because all you need to do is know the truth. And that's more important than whether I have a big studio and big fancy lights. Mike Masters, good to see you. Welcome. And I'm a contactee from the 60s. I've had positive contact. I've never had a negative contact in my life. I've always had, since the 60s, hundreds of UFO spaceship sightings of the positive kind. I'm a C5 activist. So if you know what C5 is, Barbara T, hello. Hey, Misty, thank you for the heart puff. I'm actually, September 14th, we're having our big event here in New England, in Connecticut, with the Ashtar Command Contact Group. We're going to be on the Long Island Sound on the Connecticut side. And if you are in the region and wish to come and want to plan now to come, September 14th on Saturday evening, please email me. I have a video on here, and I'll probably have to share that again to make sure people know about it more. And I will definitely do that. So please get in touch with me if you're interested. Certainly, I would love to have people come in the region. If you're not familiar with C5, we can go over that a little bit with people here tonight as we get closer into September. But we'd love to have people attend in the region that can make it. So this way you can plan ahead. It's a few weeks out. So when you can plan ahead for that weekend to join us. One of the things you'll want to do is bring maybe some bottled water or something to drink. And there is definitely, we're going to be right on the water. Where we're located, where we hold this event, we're like a couple of feet away from the actual waterline, and it's a great location. So we'll be looking over the Long Island Sound, and we just pray that we have a really clear night on the 14th of September. We're going to broadcast it live worldwide on our Encounter show, so we'll be actually letting you see whatever we see. You'll get to see it on camera. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm CmdrAleon, your host again. This is our late night show, a little bit late, a little bit later, usually at 11 o'clock. It's 11:36 p.m. on the East Coast. Wherever you may be, welcome. And just a lot going on, a lot of things happening. Evidently, there's a woman, a former NASA employee. I was looking at a video of her making a speech about spaceships and stuff on the moon. Now, we already know that, what the moon is, but she was coming out as a former employee. She must have had some knowledge or, higher up clearance at the time. She went public and said that the things we've always talked about, how the moon has it's an artificial structure. NASA knows about what's on the moon, and of course they do. Of course they know what's on the moon. It's apparently they do. Bree, good to see you. Before the cruise, thank you for the share. We appreciate it. Hope, good to see you. Bill White, welcome. Black Eye Joe, welcome. Black Eye Joe. I see a lot of new names. Lawn Kings, welcome to the #1 spiritual UFO talk show, Encounters. Metal's Mom, welcome. And Hope, thank you for the heart me. We appreciate it. And let's see. Hopefully, if Jay Niner's on here, we're going to bring Jay Niner on here. She is another person having some incredible sightings. I've been in touch with her on Messenger, and she's been on here briefly. She's having tons of positive spaceship sightings. Hey, Hetty, one of my other moderators, Hetty, good to see you. Alco, thank you for the tiny Deanie. We appreciate that. I've got some great moderators on here keeping things running smoothly. Becca, good to see you. Scrubs USA, good to see you. Scrubs Becky, welcome to the show. Susie, welcome, Susie. Acre1, welcome. Nelly Fox 70. KK, welcome to our show, Encounters. Baby Doll, welcome to Encounters. Hey, Scrubs, good to see you. I saw a beautiful reddish-orange ship last night. Beautiful there, Hope. Hopefully you got to videotape it or take a picture. Redhead, welcome to the show. Hey, sometimes it's me. Sometimes it is you. Sometimes it's me. Billy, hey, good to see you, bro. Welcome to the show. How can you find out your blood type? Heroes, thank you for the... Alex, don't worry too much about the blood type. It won't really affect whether you have contact with space people. I know people keep worrying about their blood type. The blood type really has nothing to do with it. It's your ability to open up to connecting with your star family, and a lot of that has to do with meditation and just going within. So I wouldn't worry too much about the blood type thing. It doesn't affect whether you have contact or not. I get that. I've been asked that question since the first day I came on to TikTok. But don't worry about it. Michael Wayne, hey, Florida, good to see you. Garrick Gonzalez, have a good evening. Good to see you as well. Nana Rose Galley. Well, that's the only way I can be, is positive, because there's no reason to go the other way. It's just not my way, Plus, being a Christ and being of light here on earth to do the work we do, we want to help people and, really uplift humanity and not bring everybody down. There's other places for that, but I'm glad that I appreciate your comment so much. Billy says I've been probed. Alex says okay. Define Freedom. Hey, good to see you. How are you? I'm doing good. Lynn 948, thank you for the heart me. Chinatown Dancing Lights, I would love to have contact. I would say for people that would love to have contact, I'm going to start you off with saying that you need to download the CE5 app. So if you've never ever had visual contact of the positive kind, for $10, get the CE5 app, Dr. Seamer's app. If you have an iPhone, you can get it downloaded on an Apple. If you have a Android phone, go to Google Play, download it for $10. Read the protocol. If you've never had any contact, if you use the protocol and follow the protocol and get a few people that are positive with you together, you will have visual contact for the first time. I guarantee it. For people that are just starting out and want to have contact. Dave Lawson, welcome. Sonia, welcome to the show. Hey, Penny. Hello there. Happy Wednesday. That's right. Hope says, I was on my brother's. Yes, you are live, so didn't get to record it. Oh, okay. Well, next time, if you get to record it, we'd love to see that, or take pictures. Lavoli, good to see you. Jacob says, I've seen triangle UFOs late night in the Portland, Oregon area. I think we're going to be bringing Jacob up here. The way the interviews work on my show, and again, this is I'm a professional talk show host on radio, so I bring the same professionalism to what I do here. You have to be over 18, no kids on the show, no smoking, no vaping, no drugs, no drinking, no drunks, no paranormal discussion, and no cursing. I think I said all that. I all lumped it in one thing. But as long as you stay focused on what the show's about, I will definitely give you an interview. And I'm very random, so I'll randomly select who I want. Jacob will be my first guest. Jacob, we're going to see if we can bring you up here. Jacob, if you set your setting, go out and reset your setting to public. It's on private. I can bring you in as a guest on audio, and I'd love to hear your story. So if you'll switch your setting to public, come back in, I will bring you up here on the show as our first guest. Yes, Ruby, it's the C5 app. If you have an Android phone, download it on Google Play. It's like $10. It's a one-time thing. If you're an Apple user, if you're an iPhone user, you can download it on the Apple app. Tri-Town Dancing Lights, I have it. Okay. Just saw a shooting star. Good, little Leah. Yeah, it's called Penny Jocelyn. It's called CE5. It's an app that's available on Google Play for people that have Android phones, iPhone users on Apple. You can get it downloaded on Apple. It's like $10. Yes, you can do a C5 alone. You can definitely do it. If you follow the protocol, you can actually do it alone if you focus and do it. You can make it happen individually, yeah. Hey, user 937. Hey, Kit Kat, good to see you. Let's see. Chi-Town Dancing Lights, you live in Chicago, beautiful. Wendy, howdy, good to see you. I'm just reading people's comments here. C5 is not a game, C5 game, no. C5 is an app, not a game. It's a protocol app that Stephen Greer's group created years ago. It's called CE5, and you download for $10. It gives you the protocol. There's tones you can use to vector in the spaceships, and it's a really good way of getting started. I recommend it to everybody. Let's see. Jed, hello, good evening, welcome. Good. Everyone should get that C5 app, because then you'll be able to start doing the things that, for people that really want contact, it'll start with the C5 app. It's a great way to begin. Regina, hello from California, good to see you. And please tap on the screen. When you tap on the screen, hearts happen. When the hearts happen, you bring up the totals in the right top corner of my screen. It says 15.4. If everybody taps, we're going to get to 100,000 tonight. It's always my goal to get us up to 100,000. Follow each other, become friends with each other, get to know all the people in my studio here all over the world. That's a great group. Trance, good to see you. And everyone else, Pep951. Voice of One, hey, good to see you. Kathy Milano, good to have you with us. Israel, good to have you with us. Spoon something. So we're going to do this tonight. And again, one of the things I love to do is interview people. I have a lot of information to share, and I will, during the night, share information with you about what's happening. But your stories are what makes a very beautiful tapestry, because everybody has a story, whether they've been abducted or not, or whether they've had positive contact or visitations. Every story is valuable. Every story is honored here. We never put anybody down. This is a safe program to come out of the closet and share what you're doing. I've been out of the closet since I was a kid. Then I went underground on my understandings until I got older. 21 years ago on my radio show, I came out and said I was from Mars, and I am originally from Mars. I am human. If you can understand the concept of a star seed, I don't come from here. Mars is a planet that I come from, with 10 to 15 million inhabitants. A very beautiful spiritual planet, unbeknownst to the so-called knowledgeable people of NASA who know nothing about Mars really. And also I am with the Ashtar Command, so I come here from my star family, and I also work on behalf of the Ashtar Command. Joseph True Volek says, hi, Commander, I pray all is well with you. Yes, it is. Yes, and I hope all is well with you, Joseph. I'm an Arcturian, bro. Hey, Billy, good. See, I love when people can come out and say, hey, Commander, I'm an Arcturian. Beautiful. Always, Billy, be who you are. You're having the human experience like me, but you know who you are. You're Arcturian. Beautiful. Yeah, it's Giselle, it's $10. So it's a one-time thing. When you get the app, it's like $10. You can put it on your phone and open it up whenever you want to. So if you go out and do something out near water or a park or whatever that was less light pollution, definitely. Are abductions always bad? Yes, abductions. And I've been around the block and to many UFO conferences over the years. Abductions are not good. If you're a contactee, the definition of a contactee is a positive experience. Abductions is the opposite of the contactee. So abductions are never good, but a contactee is someone who has positive communications with star people, and abductee is someone who's forcefully taken onto a spaceship and abducted. So there's a real difference between the two. And I'm not sure that everybody knows that there's a difference between the word contactee and abductee. Why does the app work? I've used it for 13 years. It works because it actually has certain tones. When you follow the protocol and do a meditation using the app, you open yourself up to make a connection and send a message out into space to only get contact with positive ET communications from people that are in a positive level of light from somewhere else. So once you start using, you'll understand more why it's important. So if you've never done or had contact, it really is a beautiful way to start people off in the experience of making contact. It's going to be always visual first. It's a meeting place between you and the beings on the spaceship from another world. And then when you start to realize and do meditations and operate in that center of consciousness, which is cosmically Christed, that is the way you want to get your contact. That's where the C5 will allow you through that application to start having some beautiful things. There's lighting techniques you'll learn to use and all kinds of different stuff that you'll learn with the app. That's really important. Chris, good to see you here, brother. Always good to see you, Chris, the archaeologist in New Jersey. Don't disrespect my intelligence. Jard Bryant, 500. Who are you talking to? I hope you're not saying that to me. If you are, you will be moved into outer space, brother. Because I don't know where that comment's coming from or who it's to. If it is to the host of the show, you'll be going bye-bye, my friend. So choose your words wisely. I really don't know where they're going with that. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Marinee, welcome to the show. Again, she's one of our people that is a Little Leah. Absolutely. Hey, Little Leah. Good to see you. And if you're just tuning in to the show for the first time, I am a person with experience. So if you don't know that, you're going to know it now. I've been around the cosmic block a lot of times. Hey, Chris, thank you for Tiny Deanie. Hope your archaeological ancient finds are doing well. BHM, welcome. A matter of fact, I'll block you. No, you don't have to block me. You don't even have to do that because I'm going to block you. Isn't it nice? He was going to block me. This is funny. He was going to block me, but I blocked him first. Thank you very much. I just took away that opportunity. Bye-bye. Hey, good to have you with us. Hey, Tiffany. This guy makes me laugh. Mike Masters. That's right. Lynn. He's going to block me, the host of the show. That's the first time somebody was going to block me who's watching my show. Do you believe, thank you for Billy for the subscription. Do you believe the government is hiding contact information? Regina, yes, I do. Regina Greer. Yes, I do. You're not related to Stephen Greer, the Dr. Stephen Greer, are you, Regina? Let's see here. Commander, you confirmed a lot for me when you mentioned the blue light with me in my Arcturian family. Thank you. That's because I tuned into it. Tiffany, that was a block party for a moment. You're right. Billy, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Teresa, hello, Commander. Thank you for being here, everybody. Yeah, I've heard of him. Okay. Maybe you're a distant relative, Regina. You never know. Could you share a little about who you are? Yes, I'd be happy to. So, for new people, I know this to be true. I will definitely share with you. So for me, my journey started back in the 60s, and I had my first contact. It never gets old when I tell this story, because I know there's new people on here. When I was a kid living in a cul-de-sac in Long Island, I lived in New England most of my life, but I was living in Long Island as a kid. I was just preteen. After dinner, went upstairs for some reason, for no reason, other than going upstairs. I just felt I had to go upstairs. Went into my brother's bedroom. He was downstairs with my parents. And I opened his wood blind, and there's a spaceship in the cul-de-sac almost at ground level, and I see space people wearing light blue outfits, men and women, and even what I call teenagers in spacesuits. And so you asked me about telling about my experience. That was my beginning of my experience. That was the only time I had visual knowledge of the space people. I don't know why it was just that one time, but they chose to show me that time when I was a kid that I didn't come from Earth, and they telepathically communicated with me, and the energy coming from them on the ship was pure love. There was nothing but pure love, a love that cannot be explained in words, and it was so pure. I went downstairs. I was so excited, I was going to get my parents to come up, my brother to come up, and I want to show them the spaceship. In my brother's window, I want to show them the spaceship. So I go upstairs. Nobody comes up. I get frustrated before I go back in the bedroom, and then I said, then after I get being frustrated and angry, I go back to the window and see the ship again with the people, and also my mood changes again, and I just feel this immense love. And they say to me before I stop looking at them, they say, "You're not from this world. You come from another planet. You come from off-world. You're not from here." So when they told me that, I was still a kid, so I didn't understand it. But as I got older, I never forgot the experience when I was a kid of the spaceship hovering, and it had a radiant light around the ship. It was a saucer-shaped ship with I consider like a dark, transparent or translucent window, and they were all looking at me with a control center lighting up like a firecracker in the center of the ship, and I can tell there were a lot of people on the ship. I would imagine inside the ship was larger than the outside of the ship. My perception is that it was a lot bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. But it took up the whole cul-de-sac, almost the whole court. And it was there, and then it was still there when I closed the shades. I felt at peace. I felt like, okay, I don't have to look at it anymore. I felt at peace. I went underground. I didn't really share much about it until I got older. And when I came more mature and older enough and had many experiences of the spaceship sightings, I started to realize there's something else going on here. So when you ask about my story is a very interesting one for myself that I don't always share. But I've always never felt like I was from here. I still, to this day, have a hard time living on the planet. I mean, I live on the planet. I enjoy living here. I do things, go to the beach, do things during the summer. I like farmers markets. I do a lot of things. But I also realize that there's a good portion of my consciousness that is so tuned in to off-planet that I realize that it's sometimes hard to be here. Cindy, thank you. So from my experience, it's even more tougher now for me to live here on this planet. I just see so many things around me. I don't understand it. Are you a chef too? No, I'm not a chef, but I love to cook, Ruby. I don't cook a lot, but in my family, once in a while we'll cook. But yeah, but I definitely feel more and more like this planet. I love this planet. I can't wait till things transform, which they will. But it's tough to do the mission work here in a planet that has so many mixed energies on it. But we're getting there. Things are happening. There, we all have. I'm still human. I have the human experience, human emotion, but I also know that I have my cosmic consciousness, which when I get into that conscious state, it doesn't matter about anything else because I realize that I have to bust the matrix. I'm here to do the mission work and do this show and help people. I love to do a mission as well. You'll find your mission through the show. Thank you, Megan. So my story is like ongoing. My story is part of what I found out being here, that when you come out to the fact that you are not from this world and you're open to who you are, over the years, I most times have been very much, hey, Jared, thank you for the heart. Most times, people I've dealt with people. I remember a time a friend who had an angel shop. She was an Ashtar Command person. I met her. She was from my town. She had an angel shop. Went in, and I found this person. When I confronted them, they were friends with this person in this angel shop. So, the angel person was like an Ashtar person. I didn't know that until we got to know each other. And then I said, oh, it's Ashtar Command. She was all Ashtar Command. I didn't even know this. This other person, when I was talking to them, they were laughing about this stuff. And I said, you're in an angel shop. You're laughing about this. And once I started, I don't remember what I said. Whatever I said, they stopped laughing. And I kind of exposed them, for who they were. And they knew I exposed them. I said, you're not who you say you are. You're in an angel shop acting this way. And this woman here who owns the shop is an Ashtar commander. Did you know that? And so it was like kind of awakening experience. I'm good about confronting people when they're not who they say they are. And I've done it pretty much all my adult life. That's because my mission work is to bust the matrix. And, that was the end of that, and they kind of changed their tone. They weren't laughing anymore. So for me, I'm not afraid to expose people who have a book cover trying to look like love and light, and then they're not love and light. Sometimes the book cover doesn't tell you everything about the person on Earth or the individual person. Susan, thank you for the Shumpy thingy, whatever it is. Thank you. So in terms of my own life, my own experiences, which I haven't talked about much here, I've had many, and I really don't tell people who they are. I've tried not to do that. I think what happens is, the beautiful part of your journeys is to meditate and find out who you are through within. I think that's where you'll find out who you are. And most people don't realize that you have the ability, if you go within, to find out who you are. Most people go outwardly to find out who they are instead of taking time to meditate, to go in and self-reflection. Oh, Becker, you will. There's no don'ts in the world. You're going to do it. See, I'm an uplifter, Becker. I think you can do it. It all takes time. It's not like a rush situation. You'll get there. And believe me, it happens at different waves of light. Jared, thank you for the gifts. It really is different waves of light, in this experience when you're dealing with the whole subject of cosmic enlightenment, galactic understanding, space people. It's a lot to take in, and I completely get it. But hey, look, there's no rush, right? We're all here together. We're all here to help each other. I'm here to help people. Unlike other UFO shows on YouTube or whatever, what we do here is we interact with people on live broadcast. A lot of their stuff is taped. Maybe some of it's live. I prefer to have like a personal interaction with everybody, and I just don't want to ever put anybody down. I think everybody's going to get there. Everyone will, because I look at everybody as beautiful people, no matter where you are, no matter what your experience has been in life. You're here now, right? You're watching this show now, right? So you've taken a leap forward, not a leap backwards. And if you take the leap forward, hey, you're going to make it. Thank you for the chili. I needed that. So, Susan Mary, thanks for coming back in. One for G, thank you. And you're cool too. You see, when you reciprocate with a positive to a positive, you create a positive. I don't want to be anywhere around negative people. I just don't like to do that. I'd rather be in a room full of beautiful people that are positive than around people that are negative, because all that is negative energy, right? So my whole thing is spread the love. I'm professional in my talk show host stuff with the Ashtar thing, with my spiritual UFO show here. I just feel that everybody has a story to tell, and I just love stories because they're true stories from that person's perspective and what they've had, whether it be the person that got abducted. So many people have been helped here on the show that have been abducted since 2023. I can't even tell you. And even now. And so many people have come forward. out of their shell and shared with me, taking a step forward. And they'll say, Commander, this is the first time I've been on live on TikTok. This is the first time I've actually been on a show like this and shared my story. When they're done sharing their story, they feel much more relaxed. They're at home. They don't feel anything but accepted, and people need to be accepted. People that are coming out of the closet in the field of this subject, who are from other planets, who say, I'm a starseed, they need to be accepted. And I talked about all the different movements. Susan, thank you. Tahar, Loretta, thank you. All the different movements in the world for liberation or self-acceptance, whatever it might be. Starseeds are a large part of our community on Earth. Starseeds, many of them are quiet. You have a starseed in a family of a brother and sister, mother and father, and grandparents, and that starseed can't say anything because they feel like they wouldn't be accepted. So if you look at all the movements through the current decades that were quiet, that were basically silent, and how they became accepted, if you are a starseed, and as a professional UFO talk show host, my goal is, because I'm a contactee, I can understand that. Now, a UFO talk show host on a major network who just does interviews might not even understand that. But I do. I really do. And I really think people who are starseeds need to be respected, should not be afraid to come out of the closet. I want people who have had actual contact with space people and it's working to come out and share their stories. I want people to do that. I want to record your stories. I want you to tell your stories, because if you don't, you're going to hold it in. You're not going to be happy. Why would you want to hold it in? It's such a beautiful experience. So I want people to share their beautiful experiences. Oh, I'm going to do it. I just have to get the money together for that. We'll be getting there. I just have to wait to do that. That link, I have to find that link. I'll message her. If she gives me the link on Messenger, I can do it. I don't do private sessions for a reason. I haven't figured that one out yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I am trying to figure it out. Hello, Jane. Good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate the gifts. Tar. Hey, Tara. Good to see you. Thank you for the coffee. We appreciate it. And everyone coming in here, thank you. We appreciate you all. So my journey, it's been a journey that has, out of the shop of people, yeah, definitely. Mish Mish, yeah, let's mention that too. A lot of people don't know who she is, Mish Mish. If you wanted to put the link up to her app, I'm going to message her, because I tried doing the app. I couldn't seem to get to it, and yeah, but if you have the link, Mish Mish, send it to me. I will go there and do a donation. And April is our contact in Vermont, who's been going on ships for over probably 60 times now. And so she's a beautiful soul, and she's doing some really beautiful work. So, but yeah, my whole story, like I said, has been a long journey. And in that journey of light, I've seen pretty much all of it, most of it. I also had the experience, back when George Norrie was doing Coast to Coast, of calling him up one night and talking about the Ashtar Command. So yeah. Billy, Dave, thank you for the gifts. We appreciate them. So I guess I'm really going into my story that I haven't gone into quite a bit with people here, and our journeys. Yes. I remember, Angela, thank you for the question. So for me, I just remember Loretta, Tahar. I just remember in my journey only the thing about Mars. That is the most recent memory I had growing up. But I can't remember a lot of other things so far, but I think in time I will. you know. Let's go to 100,000. And if people need to know about how to donate to April's thing, message each other privately about that as well. And you can make contact with each other. Ah, good. Okay. Good, Miss Mish. But I see now, especially now, all the stuff that's going on, that we need to really understand the initiative of contact. Because now it's not just interviewing people about their history and their experiences and their stories, which I think is really important. But I think it's also time for people to, especially a lot of people are still wondering how to make contact. How to, people say to me, Commander, how do you make contact? How do you get contact? It's the overriding question most people have, right? Like, how do I make contact, Commander? How do I have my first experience? And I know a lot of people. Oh, my cat's talking to me. Here she comes. Are you going to come up? Are you coming in? Are you coming on? Where are you going? I'm talking to my cat, Missy. Missy, where are you going? Where are you going? You want to come up? No? See, she sits in an area where I can't pick her up. So she's right here. Now she's laying down, and she's just wants to be here hanging out with the Commander. So Missy is here, but she's not going on camera tonight unless she wants to, and you got to respect a cat for that, I've had her on here before on the show. People love seeing her, but tonight she's just going to hang out and lay down next to where we are. Yep. So good to have everybody here tonight. And of course, we'd love to hear your stories. Are there pets on the spaceship? Yes. Well, I understand there are pets on the spaceship. I don't know who has pets or what, but I'm pretty sure there are pets that people have on the ship and on their home planets. On all the other planets, they do have pets. They might be similar to what we have here, but they might be different. I don't know what kind of pets they have on other planetary systems. But they do. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So there's a lot of similarities between the space families and our families on Earth, in a sense of similar lifestyles in terms of having pets. If the Lemurians have cats, I would probably say they do. I would probably say they do. I think there's going to be when we have direct contact. What I think is, hey, Dorina, thank you for the heart me. I think when we have contact, the beautiful thing is we're going to actually get to know about each other's lives. We're going to get to know about where our space people, how they live, and how we're connected. I think the beautiful part of contact is going to be when we all come together in a synergy of light. That will be something we've never seen before on Earth. It's going to be quite the thing to see everyone coming together and not being worried about all these things that we worry about living on this planet, like when you're going to retire, how much money do you have today for a sandwich, whatever it might be. There's all these 3D things, right? But when you think about the more positive aspects of what is coming, those things look almost unimportant. Do shapeshifters, Marsh, walk among us? I'm pretty sure they do. I would say they do. I've never seen one, but I would say you're right about that. Your question is a good one. Do shapeshifters walk among us? I would say yes. Hey, Paul Williams, good to see you. Lovely moon and stars out tonight. I'm sure there are. And that's true. Immediately, Miss Mish, I'm with you there. And the thing is, the disclosure isn't coming from our government. Well, they're going to have to admit it soon. Hey, River Blue, good to see you. They're going to have to admit it soon. And put it this way, if they don't admit it, it's not the biggest thing in the world, because the contact that's going to happen doesn't happen will happen. My cat's going the other way. She decided to talk to me and say I'm going bye-bye. So contact, when it happens, is not going to be because of the government, of any world government. It's going to happen regardless of any government, and it should happen immediately, but the government's not going to be the ones creating contact. It's going to be you and me and everyone here that are going to be part of that experience because we are ready for it. We're already aware. That's right, Cassell. We are already aware. All of you are aware at some level there's something going on here. Whether you just started getting into it, Fred Herring. So Fred Herring says, how so? How so is contact going to happen? It's going to happen probably within a year and a half. The government already knows it. People on the inside of the Pentagon know this is happening. They're trying to control the narrative, including NASA. They already know it's happened. That's going to happen. They're all trying to control the narrative. They've known this for a long time. The reason why it's happening now is because it's supposed to happen now. It wasn't supposed to happen 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That wasn't the time frame. But on the galactic levels, there are star people, men and women, are you and like us, that are here now. Many more are coming. Okay? And there will be contact. And it will happen. It's just the time. You're probably wondering, like some people are probably wondering, why would they contact Earth, or why is Earth being contacted? Earth is billions of years old. We're a planet that is like really old. I mean, we're talking millions, we're talking billions. And in those billions of years on Earth, there's been civilizations that have been advanced, some that have not been advanced, cataclysms that have happened on the planet. This planet has gone through a lot of different things in billions of years. We're part of the current history of Earth. We're the new history of Earth. So we're going to, in our cycle of history, have contact soon. It's going to be the reunification of our star family with our Earth people here on Earth. And many of the Earth people some of you in here already know that you're connected to a specific group of ETs, Arcturians, Lemurians, Lyrans, different groups of space people, right? And probably other groups of people that I don't know about. So you can't wait to see the contact because you already are awakened to the fact that you're connected to a specific civilization. Penny says, are we supposed to do something when disclosure happens? The only thing you need to do before disclosure happens is be meditating, be centered, do meditation. And in that meditation, that will prepare you for contact so that when contact happens, you'll be ready to meet the space people. And the space people, 95% of them will look just like us. The Lyrans might look a little different, but they're still very beautiful beings of light. But 95% of the space people will look just like us. Actor Daniel Hendricks says, I have a lot of loaded intel and clear evidence of something specific. I wish I knew who my space family was. Ruby, and you will. Actor Daniel, let's see here. Actor Daniel Hendricks. So to be a guest on the show, one of the things I got to make clear, you have to be over 18. No kids on the show. No smoking. No drugs. No drinking. No foul language. And no paranormal discussion. But I will bring up some guests in a few minutes. But I am trying to answer all your questions. Yes, I do, Linda. I do. I have a family. And they know all about what's going on with this whole thing with the contact. User 442, how come only certain people have connections with them? Are they chosen? No, they're not chosen. They're just awakened to the fact their consciousness is awakened. They're ready to make contact. So everybody has a different level of awakening. They're not chosen necessarily. They are connecting and they're open to the contact. So user 442, Ladybug, you will eventually get there if you do meditation, focus on inner reflection. You will eventually, if you listen within consciousness, you will start to have contact telepathically, and then you can eventually have Christed conscious contact with your space family. And it's not going to happen overnight, but if you do the practice and you discipline yourself, that will happen in time. Yes, you may. You can direct message me, actor. I'm 45, sober. Good. I don't even drink. Good. And no politics on live. That's right, Charlotte. I'm fully connected, not allowed to partake in any substance. Good. Mind altering. Good. So we're going to bring actor Daniel up here. Good. So, actor Daniel, if you can come on screen, we'd love to have you on here to share your story. And you're watching Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. I'm a professional talk show host on radio, on NPR radio for 21 years. And we'd love to hear Daniel's story here tonight. Daniel's will be our first guest, and we'll see what he would like to share with us on the program, if he so chooses to come up here. And welcome everybody to the show. I'm happy to answer many of your questions. There's a lot of beautiful questions, a lot of really important questions. And I never think the question isn't important. Oh, I will just can't at the moment. I definitely do. Okay. You know, we're on usually nightly at 11. I was on late tonight at 11:30. But welcome to the show. You know, so the main thing is for people to realize there's a lot of people out there that still don't think there's going to be any kind of contact or there's not going to be any interaction with space people. And those people are kind of hard to break through because they've been taught to believe a certain thing. They think the planet is going to be the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be forever. But the planet Earth is going through a great transformation. Not only the planet Earth, but if you take a moment to reflect, you live on a planet, and if you look from the outside of the planet in space, do you know how many planets and solar systems and galaxies are out there in universes and multidimensional realities that the 3D mind can't even comprehend? If we were able to comprehend every single dimension and every single vibration and every single frequency and every single planet, you know, we'd overload ourselves. It'd be too much. But we can step out there and start realizing that everything that we think we know, we don't know. When we come from a position of knowing that at least that we are not alone in the universe, starting with that perception of reality, we are not alone in the universe, and that there's other civilizations, other galaxies with planets that are inhabitable, other universes, other solar systems, and there are many. If we start to realize that these things exist, brothers and sisters, then we will understand that we are not alone. There are still people on this planet that prefer to believe we are the only planet that has intelligent life on it. And that's a pretty egotistical, narrow-minded belief system, don't you think? Who wants to grow up thinking that this is it? That this Earth is it? That this is the only place that's inhabitable with oxygen, with trees, with mammals, with marine life, that this is it? And even on our own planet, people don't even know the things that happen on our own planet. What's really funny is people don't even realize that there are space people living in the oceans with cities in our planet. That people don't even realize that there are people living in the Agartha network. Some people know what that is. That's been around for billions of years. That is where space people, very advanced spiritual civilizations, live within the Earth. Many people don't know that. And a part of that is because people aren't taught that information. You know, if I were a teacher in high school, I would do a class on teaching people about the history of the Earth. But the history of the Earth I would teach is one that's not based on traditional textbook philosophy. The Earth that I would teach about as a teacher in a high school would be about civilizations living in our planet, our oceans. I talked about all the different life forms that are on our planet besides humans, which they never talk about in school. I'm sure any of the teachers in school and colleges or universities, I think some of them know that they don't ever talk about it. But in school, they teach you textbook things, economics, politics, religion, you know, on and on and on and on. They don't teach you about the things I'm talking about right now. And tonight, I'm just amped up and I'm just really giving you information here. I'm just really going, you don't see me do this all the time because I'm always interviewing people. So this is my light to share with you what I do know, okay? If the universities and colleges and schools on Earth would teach kids at a young age that we are not alone, that there are other civilizations in our planet, inside our Earth, that exist, that there are civilizations in our oceans, in the depths of our oceans, that we cannot necessarily get to, that are well protected, that have been here for a long, long time, if we are to teach the children that we are not the only ones living on this planet. You know, we talk about life on other planets, but on Earth, we don't ever really talk about, in traditional settings, the fact there's life inside our planet. You know, we don't teach that. We don't teach the kids about the Anunnaki, about the Arcturians, you know, about these other people, about the mer people, you know, just on our Earth, the mer people, the fairies, all those things. We never teach people about that. You know, and I think we should. You know, the question is, will we ever do that? Now, when contact happens, there's going to be no choice but to tell the people the truth. When there is physical contact, when the contact happens on Earth, everybody's going to know that there is more to our planet than just human beings on the surface of the planet that live in houses or apartments or condos or wherever. Once that is understood, it's going to transform the whole way of living. It's going to transform the way our life is. It's going to transform every dynamic. It will. You know? And we don't even half the time know what's in our oceans and seas, right? Our oceans and seas, 90% of the planet with water, our oceans and seas, in the deepest levels of our oceans and seas. We have no idea what's at the bottom. But what's at the bottom in some places around the planet are these advanced civilizations that are well protected, and they live in these structures in the oceans that are protected. They've been there for a long time. That's how come you see sometimes spaceships coming out of the oceans. They're coming out of the oceans. Why? Because they're coming from a base within the ocean. They have a civilization living within the ocean. So they come out of the ocean, and whether they originally were from Earth, I can't tell you that, but they're living in Earth, in our oceans. We're living on the surface, they're living in the oceans. The other part of it is the Agartha network, which is subterranean cities within our planet on the inner Earth. They've been there for millions of years, billions of years, probably. The unidentified submersible objects, yes. Hey, Christopher Nismus, right, true. Good thing I got my apple cider here. Agartha Ruby, if you study the Agartha, that would be the correct spelling. Google search Agartha. It's the subterranean cities of our inner Earth, and it's where a very advanced, peaceful people live. Let's see. Angela says, Commander, I'm a teacher. How can I read and learn more truth? I think a part of it is to really study and do some research. Be careful, though, what you Google search out there, but there's a lot of people writing different things, so you have to use discernment. But if you study things like the inner Earth, Admiral Byrd, not a doctor, about the inner Earth civilizations. If you read books by Dr. Strange's, the late Dr. Strange's, who I knew personally, he had contact with Valiant Thor of Venusian. Read books on Stranger at the Pentagon. That's a great book to study the history of a person that came here to assist the planet, and the government didn't want him to do anything but, know about his spacesuit. That's all they cared about. Didn't care about spiritual enlightenment. They're more interested in technology. So if you're a teacher, you can find things like maybe get a bunch of books called Stranger at the Pentagon and have all your students read it. It'll give your students a history of a spaceman who came here to Earth to assist the planet. It's a great book. The late Dr. Strange, who I knew personally, he was on my show before he died. He died months later. This is years ago. And he wrote a manuscript that was going to be made into a movie. He wrote a manuscript for Hollywood to tell the true story of Valiant Thor. It never happened in a way that he wanted, I don't think, because he passed away. But he was a definite contact. He was very proactive. He always had connections with the Valiant Thor, the space person, and Valiant Thor would meet him and take him on a ship in Lake Mead in Nevada, and he'd go on the ship to Victor 1, and he would say when he was on the ship, his whole aging system became young again. When he went off the ship, he went back to his Earth-based age. When he was on the ship, his whole aging changed. Went back to being young. Megan, basically, I can tell you right now, one of the best ways to do it is just look on the Google search, but be careful of what you search for. Look at things like Admiral Byrd's information. He traveled into the inner earth. Dr. Frank Strange's books are really good. There's a few people that have books that are good, or things that you might be able to get in PDF files online. And of course, watching this show, you'll get information. Nello Torres says they start with some blonde, they sell up. It was a big bottle with 7,000 years ago. Let's see here. Read Ramtha. It's a channeled book on the ancient Lemurians. It really, people need to just, also the other way to find out is, again, there's certain books. If you look under out of print books of the contactees, George Van Tassel is another one. You should read his books. These are people that are no longer alive. He wrote books about his contacts. Like I said, Frank E. Strange's, his books are good books to read. If you find those books, maybe online, electronic books to read, those are good ways to find things out. Mero, okay, it's the Hollow Earth, Agartha. Yes, Agartha is the inner Earth. The Hollow Earth, the inner Earth within the Earth, is called the Agartha Network. Michael says, Hollywood often uses jokes to Harloretta to tell truths they don't face karmic retribution. I mean, for children, I'd have to research that. I would say Google search, I'll have to think about that. I'll have to do some research. But I'd say if you're going to do some research, Google for things. There are books for children about space people. You might want to just type in Google search books about space people for children. And I think you'll find some stuff. I will do some research myself, but that would be a thing to do for kids. Yeah, there are books out there for kids. I knew somebody used to sell some of those books that were really enlightening. Yeah, okay. So Mistress says use Yandex or DuckDuckGo. Okay. They do have it. Harandaris, they got it in the bookstore, the old picture. Interesting. The Lemurian sea scrolls are amazing too. The hottest of the. So this is for little kids. She has kids. Angela, as a teacher, has kids. So she's looking for kids' books that deal with the space people. There are books for kids. I've seen them. I just don't remember any titles at the moment. Commander, many children are more awake than adults. Just my observation. Well, you're a teacher, so you're making a good observation. The kids are more awake than the adults. I mean, the adults here are awake, but the kids are definitely more awake than the adults. You're absolutely correct about that. In many cases. Well, I have one kid. She's 26. She's very aware of what I'm talking about, and she's had her own experiences. She once in a while comes on my live, and she'll come in here and say hello. And she was on the other night just saying hello in comments, and she responded to somebody, and she said, "Yes, I've had an experience." But she didn't talk about it much. But she does know what's happening. She's very aware of what's going on. And we're just looking at your comments here. And thank you very much for the questions. User 220, welcome. Kevad F12, welcome. Clapback, welcome to the show. Donna Bashner. Vivian, hey Vivian, welcome. Esterno, Timo, I think it is. I'm saying names here. Nalada, I think it is. E. Joe, welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching Encounters. This is the actual professional talk show, really, and I'm a talk show host on NPR Radio, WESU River Blue, Tahar to you on WESU FM. And I'm glad to have everybody here with us and joining our show here. I'm enjoying your questions. Billy, thank you for the roses. And we do want to get to 100K. I think we'll do it before midnight. Please follow and like. That's important. And if you haven't donated yet, you can do TikTok donations. That's perfectly fine, whatever you want to do. I leave that up to your free will. If you wish to make a direct donation, go to my Venmo link on my main page here, and you can do that as well. Okay? And good evening, everybody coming in here, all the new people. Christy Wright, welcome. Bible Thumper 7. Bible Thumper, good evening, Bible Thumper. Joe, welcome to the show. Virginia, Fen, welcome, Virginia. Shore, good to see you, Shore. Thomas, all the people coming in here, welcome. User 985. Angel Heart, that's a great name. Kimberly, good to have you, Kimberly. Regina, good to have you back. That's true, Miss Mish. Hello, Gator, Kimberly, everybody out here. And I've been enjoying sharing my background, my experience with you. You don't get to hear me do that. Gary Haas, good to see you. Thank you for the roses. So tonight, I'm opening up to you about my own experiences and my own knowledge, which I think is important. Ashley Bashley, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Gigi, welcome. Good thing tomorrow's Friday, because we got a full weekend coming up. Ashley Bashley, I think, has some information, and I know she does, and we're going to bring her up. Let's see if let's do this. Come on, let's work. There we go. My button minute. Ashley Bashley.
Hi.
Hey, welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. I've been working on artwork from the dream that I had, and I'm debating on whether I should write a book, because most people that have seen the image tell me I should write a book based on the dream.
Have you actually got and your drawings are amazing. Have you been able to put them in color? I know you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to show them to you. Just give me a second, because I got to get my camera working.
I can't wait. Ashley, I'm going to give you background. So Ashley Bashley drew some drawings that are now in color. These were from real experiences in the cosmic dream state, but they're actually in reality a real experience. So I'm going to let you narrate your pictures that you've drawn here. I want people to be able to see what you've done, and I'm going to turn it over to you because she's amazing.
Okay, so I can call Damani in a little bit too if you want to talk to him about anything.
Yeah, he might have some updates too. So you got.
Oh, he does. He's been trying to get a hold of me. I've just been busy. But I repainted this and made it on a smaller canvas to show like in detail like what I saw and how I explained how it looked kind of like the when I looked up in the sky, if you know what the aurora borealis looks like how the sky looks like this and then it's like this orange and reddish, and this is what the ship looked like in the most detail that I could put it. And this is like the light source that's coming out of it that basically absorbed it. The only way to explain it is it absorbed anything that was life, like this tree that's right here. It just, once it hit this tree, it turned into what would be like space.
Interesting.
It just turned it into absolute like space. And I'm not quite done with this yet because I'm still drawing like what looked like native people that were just sitting around a fire when I arrived in this person's body. It's the only way that I can explain it. And this is the planet that was in the sky when I looked up, and I just froze and couldn't handle, like mentally I was like, where am I? This is not Earth. What am I doing on this planet? And long story short, ended up going over and like coming over here where this giant tree is that it like blended in, but this building right here is what I tried blending it in to show what happened when I put my hand up. And this is where all these are the pods that the beings, like these people, got on with me. And I only drew 2 of them, but there was more than that. But they were leaving as quickly as they could.
They look like little spaceships.
Yeah, they were in their circle, and the thing that's interesting is they when I got on them and got on the one and I saw everybody else, like I said, they fit about 4 to 5 people or beings. I don't know what else to call them. Like they looked
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah. No,
human.
I gotcha.
They didn't look
Hmm.
not human, but this is the artwork of the planet that I was on, and then this is the woman that
Really? Look how. Oh my gosh! Look how beautiful that is.
yeah, that's
Hold
what
that.
she looked
Hold that
like.
picture there. Yeah. Wow, she's beautiful.
Yeah, and she, like I said, she looked very human, but her eyes were a little bit bigger and 6 finger hands, which I still don't know what that means because I've
So she had 6 fingers.
yeah, 6 fingers
Oh,
instead of like the
okay.
regular 5, like what
Well,
we
that
have.
I think it just could be that for whatever reason that's the way they're made up into their physical form. But she's so beautiful. Just the
Yeah.
painting itself, the radiant energy coming from the painting, Ashley, is so beautiful. It's really a really people watching this. She's drawing pictures of the actual experiences. She actually did have physical experiences in what we call the cosmic state of dream, where she physically went somewhere else and she met all these space people. So this woman she met, and she's very beautiful. Now seeing her in this image, it really does make a difference.
Yeah, and she like I can tell you she's very humanistic, but she like I tried telling you on the last time I was on your show how she
Yeah,
has like these like her eyes are almost like
almost like
diamond.
you took the words out of my mouth, like diamonds. Amazing. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like diamonds.
like where we have like a circle in our eyes and hers were like diamond, and
Mm,
she had a lot of jewelry on, and I think it represented her class or like whatever status she was
mm,
in, whatever the
mm.
tribe was that she was living in. But I was in her husband's body or in his perspective, or I don't really know
How
how
did
to explain it.
how did that happen? Can you explain how you
I
were
don't
from
know.
Earth and got in his
I
body?
it's I was asleep like in real life, like I was sleeping and then like ended up in someone's body, and I was like, am I dreaming? And then I realized, okay, this isn't a dream because I was physically able to control the
Hmm.
body and had this voice come in and tell me I had to save these people. And then first I saw this ship, this not ship, this is the ship, but I saw this planet in the sky, and when I looked up and realized, okay, that's not the moon, where am I kind of
And is this the planet that you last time? It's on my Ashtar Command spaceship news page on YouTube. Is this the planet that was destroyed?
yeah, this is the planet that was destroyed that looks a lot. It like some of it's not done yet. I still have to add some stuff, but I have to wait for the paint to dry. But like this is like a water source that they were on over here, and we pretty much had to trek over across this water to get over to this building that I explained was like this tree was
Right.
kind of like hiding it, and then it blends in, and I went up and put my hand on a panel that the only way I can explain it is like if you have a tablet and you use your touch screen and like sometimes you can see your fingerprint.
Mm.
I put my whole hand on this device and it had my human handprint on it. It didn't like I looked at my hand and it had 6 fingers, but my handprint
Huh.
was a human handprint when it
Do
glowed
you
and
think
opened the
do you think
doors.
do you think this was a different Earth that you went to, like in a different vibrational pattern?
Yeah, because what's crazy is going to this spiritual store to go get some incense and some answers and some like spiritual protection stuff because I don't know what happened when I woke up I was sweating, and I went to this store and this woman came up to me and she said, what did you do on the astral plane? You changed Earth's history. And I kind of couldn't comprehend it like mentally. I felt like I was going nuts because I didn't really say anything. I was like, what, I need something that's going to be able to help me figure out why I'm having these dreams and like what can help me sleep so I can like not go nuts, cuz at that point I felt like I was going a little nuts cuz the dream was so real. I literally thought I was going to die cuz when the last ship came out, like this woman was
Mm-hmm.
with me with her children, and I was in this guy's body, and I put my hand up because I was absorbing whatever this was that was coming out of this ship,
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember feeling really tired when I sat on this ship, this little tiny pod, and
Yeah.
I I was exhausted because I was absorbing whatever this energy was, and it's really hard to, like, when you're in that kind of a state where you're traveling, like whether it be astral travel or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
was still physically draining to
Yeah.
protect these beings and like
Yeah.
protect their planet from getting destroyed. And then I got on this when I was on the pod and I put my hand down because I couldn't absorb it anymore because I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember feeling this little pod thing shaking, like leaving because it was going very fast, and then looking at this tree, like when say that this is the last one that I was on, and it
Right.
leaves, and I put my hand down. The ship was about right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going fast, and like I see this in the distance, and I'm still looking at it, thinking, why am I looking at a planet from the sky? And I just kept like my mind was going a million miles a minute, and
And the other thing is, I want to say, just let perspective for our viewers, the show that the ship with the city things, that was the negative group of beings that were blowing up the planet, correct?
yeah, they were very negative. Like that's the reason why I ended up getting put in this guy's body, this other being's body, because I was supposed to guide them to this so that they could get on these pods and leave, and they just listened. It's almost as if they were having like some type of like sacred um earth. I don't know what else to call it. Like they had a fire going and they were doing like tribal dance type stuff, and
Yeah.
they were doing things that were spiritually like stuff that
Right.
still happens now even on earth. And
But the thing is, they were advanced. They do have their own ships.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but the thing is that these beings didn't know that they had these ships. They didn't know that this structure was
R-
here until I got there
really?
and told them.
Wow.
But um the the weird thing is like when I realized that, I was my consciousness was in someone else's body, I could feel this other person that I was in their body saying, get out of my body, but I couldn't. So I had to deal with that. And I also had to deal with viewing this ship and then thinking, oh my gosh, I have to get them to this building. And like,
And tell us what's the thing about the building? What's the importance of the building?
it's some ancient structure that, like, I know that we have a whole bunch of them on this planet, and a lot of like scientists and people don't understand what they are for and how the technology built them and all this stuff. And I think it ties in together with whatever this building is, even though it's a different
Yeah.
planet.
So
Like, we
was
still
the
have the
building,
technology that was obviously
you know,
given to us in these other structures. But
was the building there to protect them?
yeah, it's there to protect them from if something like this was to happen. And
Right.
the more I meditate on it, the more like vivid things happen, and like the more dreams I start to have. And I started working on the other dream that I had where I was on that guy's ship. It's just not quite done yet. And what's interesting that
Yeah.
I even told Michael is, like, my husband, because he's seen me painting this, like, this is the back of the ship.
Hmm.
It's not even done yet.
That's
Because
the back of what ship? The back of the
so
city
the
ship?
ship, so when I was in another guy's body, but he was showing me their perspective when they had some enemy ship coming and attacking them, and their cooling, some compartment on their ship fell off into the ocean as they had to do an emergency landing because their ship started having problems. And all I can tell you is that the planet, when they were coming in, looked a lot like Earth. And I still am not sure if it's Atlantis that they landed near, because the structures of everything that was around it was very, like, they had a lot of ocean, but they had a lot of trees and almost like jungle type. But this is just the back of the ship that I started drawing, and the front I haven't started working on yet. But the other side of the ship almost has like a mouth to it, where it's like this would be the mouth, and then it's got eyes. And I think the reason why the ship looks like that is because if they were going outside of the outside of whatever you want to call it, space universe, and somebody sees that ship, it's almost like they're trying to say, hey, we are very important and we are somebody that you don't want to mess with. Like, they don't have bad intentions, but this guy came, this being, I keep saying guy because it's a male energy,
Mm-hmm.
he came on this planet to just try to find this device, and this back part right here, like
Mm-hmm.
the base right here, is this is where he was when he was going underneath the water to track whatever the device was that fell off the
Mm.
cooling system that basically keeps their entire ship from overheating when it's traveling. And some enemy ship attacked it, and they had to make an emergency landing because he was going to try to repair it, but it
Okay,
fell
so
into the ocean.
let me slow you down. So the ship that landed wasn't the negative ship. The ship that attacked it was the negative ship, correct?
Yeah, so I'm starting to wonder if it's this ship right here,
So this
even though
ship
this was
here
a
attacked.
completely different
Okay,
dream.
right, but this ship here could have attacked the other ship. Just to
Yeah.
put it in perspective for like our viewers in perspective and not totally confused here. These are two separate ships. This one
Yep.
potentially attacked the other ship, which was positive, and it had to land because it was hit.
Yeah, and I'm
Okay.
starting to wonder, like Damani and I have been talking about it, and he's he has been asking me a lot of questions and asking me, do you think it was an Anunnaki being? And I was like, it might have been, because the ship looked, so this isn't done yet. I still have to add gold to it, but it has a
Mm-hmm.
lot of gold undertones and a lot of
Yeah.
gold like on the outside of it, and
Mm-hmm.
just the eyes. It's a very powerful ship, and I can tell you that the technology that this being had, he had this device that was like built into his wrist that was
Mm-hmm.
attached to whatever cooling system dropped. So when he went
Yeah.
underneath the water to go find this device, the only way I can explain it is it had like a light source connected to
Mm-hmm.
it would be like if we had a watch here on Earth
Right.
that had a tracking device on it, and it was able to have a light signal track where this thing fell. But the only problem is he didn't have the capacity to swim as
Right.
far underwater and didn't realize that it was as deep as
Uh,
it was
uh,
because our water is
let,
deep.
let me jump in for a minute. So this is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. So I keep looking at this, and even though it's a ship, I see a space helmet that is being worn by a space person with two eyes. Am I incorrect?
Nope, you're right. That's literally what it looks like. And this is the back of the ship. I haven't even started drawing the front of it yet, or um like the trees or anything that were
Mm-hmm.
surrounding when it landed, because it made an
Mm.
emergency landing. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
a planned thing. They weren't planning on visiting this planet. It was just they had to, or they weren't going to be able to fly at all anymore. So
Amazing.
yeah, the dream was weird because, when I have dreams like this dream that I had, I was in full control of the person's body that I was in. It wasn't like a perspective. It was like I was trying to save these people. And
Mm.
this dream was, I was in this guy's body, and he was showing me his perspective of what happened and why he had to land on this planet, and why he had such a hard time trying to find this cooling system
Mm-hmm.
that basically fell into our
Was the cool
water.
was the cooling system for that was originally on the spaceship, which operated help. It was the energy source for the ship.
Yeah. I mean,
And
it
when
still
the
had an
ship, so
energy
when
source, but it was one of the main
yeah,
coolant that made
main
it so that
coolants.
the ship ran. It would be like if we ran out, if we didn't have a battery, if we were running our car and our car battery just died.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it's like you're losing like your oil thing bursts in your car, and all the oil's coming out, and you can't stop it, and then your car doesn't work anymore. So it's the analogy is this advanced spaceship lost that device that was part of its operational ability to travel in space, and because it was hit by this negative ship, it had to land because it couldn't have the energy to take off again.
Yeah,
Correct.
and I'm still trying to figure out why this ship
Mm.
would attack this ship's people, because these beings, from the more meditation and stuff that I've gone through it like over and over, because it was a pretty vivid dream is these beings aren't bad. It's almost like the only way I can explain it is if they're kind of like the protectors of the galaxy and they go around and they give other planets information and things
Hmm.
to advance their planets. It's not
Right.
ever been negative. And
Right. So their thing is what Ashley's saying, folks. You're watching Encounters. Thank you. By the way, we're 101,000 likes tonight. We appreciate that. We appreciate all the gifts. Taz, I good to see you, Taz. I know Taz is here. Um, so what we're seeing is they unconditionally go to different planets to help people in a positive way. That other group of beings are negative. They're out to destroy planets and anyone who's living in a peaceful world. Correct?
yeah, especially this being, because when these, whatever these are, it's almost like you're not, the vibe that I get is you're not allowed to be giving technology away to other planets. We don't want other planets to advance and get to the point where they can travel. We don't want them to do that. So if you're going to be
Mm.
doing that, we're going to destroy your planet. And these beings, I can tell you that from the meditation, even the stuff that we went through last time, the meditations that I've had with her, because I've been communicating with her,
Yes.
she's all about awakening people and enlightening people and teaching them like
And
how to not be
does she
scared.
know? Let me ask you a question. You are communicating with her telepathically, which I know is true.
Yeah.
Does she know about what's happening with our planet and about contact about our planet? Have you talked to her about that in your
I
in
think
your
she does,
consciousness?
and I think that's one of the reasons why I worked so hard to get these art pieces out, because that's what I've
Mm-hmm.
been guided to do,
Mm-hmm.
is just to keep trying to put it in a perspective of people to understand that like it's it's just something that's happening, and it's
Yeah.
not just our planet that's the only one that's going through this. And I'm also a really big history person, and there's too much history on civilizations just up and disappearing, or just, not being there anymore. And like
Mm-hmm.
what Damani keeps talking about the floods and Earth trying to talk to us, and Damani's been pretty adamant about, this is the biggest thing that Damani told me. Like the Aurora Borealis that I explain
Yeah.
is like what this looks like.
Right.
Damani is worried because the United States has been able to see the Aurora Borealis outside of just outside of Alaska, to be able to see it all over the United States.
Yeah.
He's concerned, and he was saying something about like back in ancient civilization days when they actually looked at the sky and the stars to pay attention, that they would take that as a sign that something's going to happen, and they would
And
start
speaking of which,
preparing.
can you get Amani on the phone? Is he available to come on the show with us?
Yeah, Michael, do you want to call Damani on your phone so that I
We're going to
can?
get Damani on. Let's explain who Damani is. It's Ashley's friend. He works part-time for NASA, and
Yep.
he's been instrumental in between now and the last time we spoke to him. He said he would be committed to, he has friends in higher levels of NASA that have cosmic top secret clearance, and we're going to get him on here to share with you folks some really, I'm sure he'll have new information that nobody knows about, and he's going to be able to come up here. He wants disclosure. He
Well,
wants
he
the
really
truth out.
does. And he's
He really
also been
does.
talking to somebody that when he told me, I was kind of like, what do you mean? So if he doesn't answer, he'll call us right back. But
Yeah.
he's one of his contacts has been talking to a draconian.
Well, the draconians are negative, so
I know. And when he told me that, I was like, I told him, I was joking with him, but I was like, Damani, I don't even like saying their name. It's like, I love
yeah,
Harry Potter. It's almost like saying Lord Voldemort's name when you're watching
right,
Harry Potter. I don't like saying their name.
right,
That's how
right,
negative they are.
right. Yeah. No, Ashley has very, very good connection with this person, and definitely draconians, no. Just like the reptilians, no. Just
Well,
like
yeah, and
the Zeta, no.
they're not good. And the thing is like they're, honestly, if I was gonna say like if this was gonna be anyone, that's what this ship would be.
Right.
And like they're known for destroying planets. They don't care. They care about is power and control.
Yeah.
They're not really.
And if people learn the history of the galactic things about our universe, there's the star people, which I'm connected with, and then there's the other ones that are mentioned that have gone out and basically tried to destroy or control planets, and that's been done for billions of years. So people need to know the historic galactic history, not just about Earth, but about our own universe. It's really
Yeah, and
important.
there's a lot going on because like I know that there's a lot of myths and like people that there's history and then there's myths based on
Right.
ancient civilizations where these different types of beings come to certain tribes and teach them math and all these other things that we didn't have as civilizations. And I think her coming into my dreams is like it's almost like she's coming to me to inform me of certain things. It's not like an overnight thing. Like I have to
Right.
gradually draw the dream that I had, and that's what this is. And this is a lot
And
more
I,
detailed than my original painting was.
and also, so an illegal alien says that our Earth protected. I can tell you from being with the Ashtar Command, our Earth is definitely protected. And certainly when contact happens, everybody, in about a year and a half, everything is going to very, very slowly shift from where we are now to a whole new way of living. It's going to take time, but there's going to be a gradual shift of the way our conscious, how we consciously work. And so what you're seeing here, if you're just joining us, the show is being recorded. It's live. It'll be on my Astro Command Spaceship News channel on YouTube. You can see all our shows. This is a woman, and she's a space woman, but she's from a indigenous culture. But they didn't, like you said earlier, they didn't even know they had those space pods on their planet, did they?
No, they didn't. And they were really connected with Earth to the point where they were just doing their normal tribal stuff. And all of a sudden I ended up entering, I guess it would be considered like a chief's body, and had to guide them over to this building. And I still can't quite figure it out. Mama, I'm doing
Yeah. Well,
where I
really,
was.
it wasn't natives fighting. It was a negative space group in a
Yeah.
ship going after the natives. The natives weren't fighting at all. They were doing very peaceful things. That city ship thing went after that other ship and shot it down. Though it wasn't anything to do with indigenous fighting on that particular planet.
Yeah, and like the whole thing is that it's almost like she doesn't even remember who she was, because she does look like I said, she's got a very native vibe, which makes me wonder if um the Anunnaki that are all over a lot of our historical buildings, like the pyramids, and they're all over, like art wise. It makes me wonder if they come in here, they come to this planet in a certain way to teach us certain things so that we can start becoming more aware if something is going to happen. I mean, there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening earthwise regarding flooding, and I'm talking like flooding in places that you would never think flooding would happen. Like where was the giant flood that just happened where you were stationed? You were stationed in Qatar, and there was a giant flood in an area that's all desert. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm talking about the Grand Canyon that's here in the US.
No. Well, he's talking about the Grand Canyon, but I'm talking about not in the
Oh.
US, where it was like a complete desert and it started flooding. And
Mm-hmm.
the Grand Canyon started flooding like 2 days ago. And that's just kind of interesting, because
Wait,
that's not
you said
somewhere I
the
would ever think would flood.
The Grand Canyon is flooding. You physically in our Earth. You're saying the Grand Canyon is now flooding?
Yeah, like Michael, can you? You have TikTok on your phone so I can show him a video of it?
Yeah, I have no
I don't.
idea.
Yeah,
I'm so oblivious. I didn't even know that was going on.
Damani's texting back. He might be able to call us. But yeah, I usually don't pay attention to all this
Wow.
Earth stuff, but it's almost like Earth's trying to tell us something, because for the desert to be flooding, or the Grand Canyon, like that's crazy to me. Or areas that you're used to seeing it be constant desert, like always hot, doesn't ever get rain, and now they're getting complete
Death
rain.
Valley for the US also.
Yeah, so if Amani is texting you, if he can come on live with us, he's welcome to join us. You're watching, I just want to let people know, you're watching Encounters. This is the late night edition, and we start at 11:30 tonight, normally at 11. I'm also the talk show host of the show. I'm also the host of WESU NPR Pacific Radio, Ashtar Command Radio, or called the Cosmic Eye, for 21 years. and we have Ashley here, our husband's with us here, and Amani. Hopefully, we'll get Amani on. He works part-time with NASA, and he's also working with people who have high security clearance to provide us more information. And I'm sure there's more things he has gotten in the bag of disclosure that we'll hear about if he comes on with us on the phone through Ashley Bashley's.
He just texted me saying that he's at work and he just needs to know how soon because he's at work. So he works.
How soon?
Yeah, he's like, how soon? I'm at work. And I just texted him, do you have any information for the show, since he can't talk since he's at work?
Oh,
and
okay,
he's
yeah.
texting me back right now because I'm like,
oh, good.
I'm like, we're live. Maybe we can try to get him on when he's not at work. He's like, yes, it won't be long before he's got to go. Like, he's clocking up. When he calls me, I live on the West Coast. He calls me at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. That's when he can call me.
And that's when I'm sleeping.
I'm usually sleeping too. When he calls me at that time, I'm always like, I'm like, is this really important? And that when he told me that he was contacting somebody who had connections with those other beings, I don't like saying their energy name at all.
We don't say it.
I was concerned.
We want to make sure that we don't talk about those other beings if he gets on the phone with us here, that we just tell him no, that we don't want to talk about those beings. I mean, but this way, I have talked about the negative ETs because I want people to know that they exist, but they're being dealt with. The draconians, the reptilians, and the Zeta Reticuli system, those are the three main culprits for over 70 years that have been causing havoc. So as long as people know that, that's one thing. But we need to expose other things of cosmic truth that he might get from people in the know and the higher levels that know things, So, so I just want people to realize I've been in this field for a long time, and there definitely is a difference between, star people, draconians, reptilians, and also the Zeta Reticuli. I don't say this with just an opinion. I state this from people's experiences who have been abducted over the years. I met people at UFO conferences that had interactions with these negative ETs. So I'm speaking from actual experiences,
So I'll draw you something really quick that I can show you that I do want to talk to you till Damani gets back on, because I don't know if I've told you about the story when I was outside with my sons, and just grab a canvas. Is there a canvas there? There should be a couple. Oh no, there's one right here. Will you help me open that really quick? Basically, I was outside looking at the stars with my son, and I think he was like 7, and my oldest was almost 10. Mm-hmm. And it was on the solstice that's like right before Christmas, and it was getting too cold. So my son took our dog inside, and what's interesting is I turned around and I saw this. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to draw it, so I'll show it to you. But I've talked to a couple specialists that know what UFOs are, and they think that I saw a portal open. But what's interesting is I froze. I couldn't really think straight because I didn't really know how to explain what was happening. And I'm going to draw what it looked like so you can see, because I want to tell you, it had a circle like this. Hopefully it might be too light of a yellow. Hold on.
Yeah. So you're drawing what you saw as a portal, correct?
Yeah, I think it was a portal, but I'm going to get to the point and tell you what it was exactly, because my son called it a starship, and he was 7 or 8. I can't remember. It was a while ago, but I had him draw a picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it looked like. It had yellow like this, and it looked like this. And then it also, this is what it looked like. And this was the physical thing that I saw. And he was on a staircase, and I'm going to show you the tree that was in the background. This is how big the tree was. So this is how big this thing was. It wasn't small.
Right.
And I was standing in front of it, and I literally just froze, and I couldn't I couldn't think straight because I didn't know what it was, even though I was outside looking at the stars and talking to my ancestors and,
Now, did you have
communicating with something.
Ashley? Did you have a camera where you could take a picture of it?
I wish I did. I was just out with my kids, and what's interesting about this is I had my son draw what he saw, and
Mm-hmm.
my son drew. I'm going to show you what my son drew because he was little. Because I didn't want to put ideas in his head, and I didn't want to look like a mom that was trying to teach my kid, oh, look at UFOs. So my son drew. He saw this too, and then let's say that's how he drew it, but he drew this person standing next to him. So he's little and he's got a good imagination. I'm trying to get my pen out of its container. So this is my son, and this is the stairs. So there were stairs, and I was on this staircase that's right here,
Mm-hmm.
and these stairs went up to my house.
And just for people, I'm looking at all the comments. How old was one person? B entity is saying when did it happen, and how old was your son?
My son, okay, so he's 18 now, and my son was like he was either 7 or 8 years old when this happened. He was really little.
This is going back a good couple years, folks. So yeah.
Yeah, and so he drew he drew himself. He drew himself like this,
Mm-hmm.
but then he drew this. He drew this person standing next to him that I didn't see, and I think it might have been a Pleiadian. Can you put the lid on that for me?
So his son. Well, let me slow you down for a minute. So your son, back when he was a kid, sees this tall person standing next to him, and it was human, and it might have been a Palladian, correct?
Yeah, because he drew them with blonde. I asked him what they looked like, and he said they had really blonde, like very, very blonde hair, and they were very tall. But I didn't see them. I was just looking at the portal that was standing in front of me because I was literally standing right at the end of the stairs that were like this. Like there's an entrance that's like right here. Say this is like where the stairs come, and I turned around because my son went upstairs into the house, and I was standing right here, and this thing was right in front of me, and I literally froze. I couldn't move until my son said it's a starship and started running toward. And I did not tell him anything. I never talked to him about UFOs. Nothing.
So your son was very, very aware and trying to get you to be aware that you're looking at a starship.
Yeah, and that's what's so crazy about it is because I know now that I'm like, older, and I've been trying to figure out what happened that night. I'm starting to wonder if, like, when people go out and do things on these winter solstices or equinoxes, why they're so sacred is because it's almost like an energy vortex opens and it makes it easier for stuff like this to occur.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, getting to 1:09 in the morning here, it's starting to get late. We'll have to pick this up, I think, in the future. And we have to get Amani on here at some point when I'm on early. We'll be on tomorrow night, Friday night at 11. And then Saturday night is Ashtar Command night. So Saturday night is our night where it's all Ashtar Command related. So please join us Saturday evening at 11 for that. And this story is a great story. For those that might have missed part of her story, this show will be downloaded on my Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel on YouTube, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Subscribe to my Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel on YouTube. All our shows are put there that we do here live, and you'll be able to see them. I'm actually still downloading, I think, 2 more shows. I'm passed through 2 shows that I'll be putting on my YouTube channel. This will be the 3rd show for tonight, and that will be eventually put on YouTube within the next 24 hours. So, yeah.
Well, I look forward to it. I'll message you on TikTok and see when Damani is going to be on. It's just been hard for us to get a hold of each other because, like I told you,
tomorrow is Thursday. I am losing track of days here. I don't think about it. Today is now Thursday. So yeah, tomorrow night at 11, Friday night at 11, and Saturday night is our Ashtar Command show. Thank you. I have no concept of time right now. Absolutely not.
That's been happening to me too. I don't know if it's like an energy thing or what.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes me wonder if it might be, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on that I don't really understand. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
Damani, I was trying not to get scared when he started talking to me about stuff on a scientific note, basically
Mm-hmm.
about what he told me about the aurora borealis and how the
When
Earth's
he comes
magnetics
on,
are changing, and that.
if Armani comes on tomorrow night or Friday night, and he's not working, I want to talk about the aurora borealis because the sun, our sun, folks, is really is amazingly. The solar storms are getting increasingly strong. There's supposed to be another aurora borealis, I think, coming up. I was reading about it. I didn't read fully when it's happening. For the northern states in the U.S., it's supposed to be happening. It'd be like places like northern United States, New England, maybe. I don't know, but there's going to be another big aurora borealis,
Yeah,
and there's a
Damani
lot of
doesn't
stuff
like that. It scares him because he says
that
it's
scares
not
him.
normal.
So it
And the
scares him because it's not normal, but does that mean that but that doesn't mean that it's not a good thing. It's just that it scares him because it's not normal, right?
he says it's not a good thing because it's like the Earth's poles are gonna start changing soon, and that's that he thinks it's the way that the Earth is trying to warn us that basically we're in for a really really hard winter and things are gonna start changing pretty severely.
Is he talking about a polar shift?
Yeah.
Well, we've been going through a polar shift ever since we've been born here.
Well, we can talk to him tomorrow about it. It's hard for me to
Yeah,
talk to
we
him
need to
about
talk
it in
about it.
general
Yeah,
because I'll end up going live on my channel after you get off if he does talk
yeah,
about anything.
yeah.
It's just a matter of what he says and what he thinks. I try to take it with a grain of salt because I don't
Right.
want to like live my life in fear because
Right.
it's
No, you shouldn't. No one should do that. But the thing is, you can look at the polar shift. You can, like first of all, if we had a major polar shift, there was a thing called the Map of America. I had a friend whose father had the I Am America map or whatever it was. It was a map about the polar shift. This was over 20, 30 years ago. Now, we are going through a shift of the polar Earth, but it's not going to be a dramatic shift. It's not like it's not an abrupt shift. So I would want to talk to him about that and describe it as more or less it's a gradual shift of our polar axis, but it's not a dramatic shift, meaning the whole planet's not going to go upside down. It's just not going to happen. Hey Odin, good to see you, brother. So I think we can talk about the polar shift, which I'm definitely interested in talking about, so people don't live in fear. The polar shift has been happening constantly. It's just not the way some people would. The polar shift is not going to be the planet Earth going upside down, and we're all going to be running for the hills. It just isn't going to operate. It doesn't. It's not working that way. There's nothing to fear.
yeah.
But if he has fear of it, that's okay because that's his own personal fear. But that doesn't mean that the shift is going to be the way he thinks it is.
Yeah, I mean, I tried explaining it to him like that too because even if it did happen in the past a long time ago, there's
Right.
still people on Earth that are alive, and like there's underground bunkers. I can't
Right.
remember where. I think it might be. It's on the other side of the world. I have to look it up, but I just learned that there is an actual civilization that built underground bunkers that were kind of like an anthill to keep
Hmm.
from getting cold when it was really cold when something
Yeah.
happened on the Earth. I'll have to look it
Oh,
up
we'll
and
have
find
to.
what I'm talking about because
Yeah, we'll have to just talk about this. He sent you a message, but I'm ignored. Odin, I'm 44 years old now. I'm still looking for answers. Maze 9S. Thank you, Maze, for being here. Good to have you with us, Maze. Odin, good to have you with us. It was good to have you on the other night. Odin, as I'm saying, space doesn't have upside down. So, yeah, I'm just being kind of like agreed that there's no polar shift where we're going to be having the Earth upside down. That was just the
yeah,
comment was for people to understand that that's not what the polar shift is. It's going to be a gradual shift. Nothing's going upside down or downside up. It's just a shift of consciousness and the vibrational shift of our planet into a new vibrational pattern. And that really is what the polar shift is. It might be a physical thing that will affect our our planet, but it won't be how some books I've read on it over the years have stated it will be. It's not going to be like this thing where we're going to have the planet splitting apart. It's not going to be anything like that. So no fear. Nobody should be in fear of a polar shift. It's been happening for years.
Yeah, I'll have Damani talk about it more. He's more scientific when he talks about it. It's just the way that he explains it to me. It's like, okay.
Maze 9S was abducted at 17 years old by tall blue skin, female looking being with blonde and silver hair. Well, before we do anything else, I think we would have to, I'm going to follow you. Maze Niner, you have to change your setting to public. Maze Niner, if you'll come on tomorrow night on my show after 11, I'll bring you on as an interview. You have to change your setting. It's on private, so I can't do the interview. So tomorrow night when we start fresh, come on my show, Encounters. I will definitely bring you on. I'm very interested in your story. I was abducted at 17 years old by a tall blue-skinned female-looking being with blonde or silver hair. So I want to find out whether that was an abduction or a contactee experience. So Maze, if you can see my verbal comments to you, Deep Blue Eyes, you need to change your setting on your TikTok when you go off. Switch it to public, and tomorrow night we'll put you on the show.
Yeah, that sounds like it might have been a contact.
Yeah, he says it haunted my life. So I'm not sure how the blonde woman would haunt your life, but from that experience. But I want to find out more about the story before I say that. So Maze, definitely, you're going to be a guest on our show tomorrow night, and we're going to talk about it and see what that whole thing's about.
I mean, I can understand what they mean by haunted their life, because the dreams that I had, it's been years before I could even talk about this stuff, because it's traumatizing when you have something so real happen that you can't explain it.
Right. Well, I think for Maze,
especially when it's so real and you just can't. There's not really any words. You're just like, did that really happen? But it affects you mentally so much that it's just.
Oh yeah, of course it does. But I think we're going to find out when I talk to Maze. Maze, I'm going to help you come to a peace of mind or a state of peace once we know your story. I'll let you know whether it was really negative or not negative once I actually get to speak to you on the show here. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Rod, good to see you. Everybody, we're going to be on tomorrow night at 11. I want people to know that I love all of you out there, everyone who's watching the show. Honolulu Bliss, welcome. If you're watching the tail end and just getting in here, I will have this show on TikTok at some time in the next 24 hours. I'm 2 shows behind from previous shows that last 48 hours or whatever, but all the shows will be updated, and they will be on my YouTube channel, Ash Turkman Spaceship News. Ashley Bashley will catch you between now and Friday, and if you get Amani on here on the phone, we'll speak to him. We
look forward to it. I'm sorry we haven't had a chance to. We've just been busy. So.
No, hey, look, I'm glad you were able to come up tonight. It was nice to have you. I will change the setting. Good, Maze. Change the setting to public. Keep it that way, and we'll be able to follow you, and also we'll have you on the show. All right, everybody have a great night. I want to thank you for all the gifts. Thank you. I have 2 more hats. I'm sure I have 2 more hats on the mustache. I really would like to complete that goal. And I will say the special word if I get those 2 hats or any gifting you want to do now, please do it before we end the show. I want to thank all 317 people for being here. I do see you. I appreciate you for finding our show. Tahar, green eyes. Ruby, thank you for the roses. I'm only 1 hat shy. Tahar D. Tahar. Ruby, thank you for the gifts, Ruby. 7 straight Tahar Starlight. I feel like a different person when I do that thing with a hat. It's just something I love to do. It's an actual plant from off planet, and so I love that. Rod knows what the Tahar is, and some of you know what the Tahar is. So we'll be setting up a new goal tomorrow night with a hat. And Brenna, thank you for the galaxy. You're a blessing always, Brenna. Thank you very much for your gift. And everybody out there, just having you view the show, you're all a gift to Encounters. So thank you so much for being here. Ashley, your drawings are amazing, and you narrate your story very well for everyone here. I appreciate it. Golden Bear,
Thanks.
thank you for being here. Yeah, no, you really do. Have a beautiful evening, Jennifer. God bless everybody. Everyone out there, even if I don't say your name, just a global blessing from Encounters. Oh, everybody take care. Have a good night.
Thank you. You have a good night too.
Okay, Ashley, take care.